Should we go for a ciggar? Little ciggar? Go on then, let's go for a ciggar.
Hello and welcome to Smokin Fegs Havin Gegs with me, Queen Billy.
And me, Raye the Queen. You can't see us right now, but we are both in a lovely bubble bath with Queen Billy's willy poking through the bubbles, and I am terrified for my life.
Hi, how are you?
I am fabulous.
I thought you were going to be like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
She's good.
She's good.
She's good.
Anything new with you since the last episode?
No. See, we're laughing because we just recorded the last episode 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. But today we're going to be talking about our fears.
And I have a few.
I have a list.
Before we continue though, a wee fag.
Absolutely.
Let's have a cigar.
I'm sitting here with them in my hand as if they're mine.
I know.
I'm passing them to you like they're mine. No, I love doing this. I love getting close.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
Da 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 da. Right.
Da 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 da.
Right. But before we start talking about fears, I think it's very important to make sure we both know the difference between a rational fear and an irrational fear. Do you know what the difference is?
Not really.
So a rational fear is something that's obvious you would be scared of it, like heights.
Spiders.
No.
Is that rational?
Spiders is actually irrational fear because there's obviously some spiders.
Oh,
that can hurt you.
like it's a dangerous situation. Nearly. So that's why it would be a fear. Like that's why
Yeah,
most general people do
like-
have that fear.
Like heights. Like I remember seeing somewhere people are born with the fear of heights or something like that. It's a very
So my
rational fear.
rational fear is vaginas.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm educated.
So it's like a very logical thing to be scared of, but as a rational fear is something that's like people that are scared of like spoons. Like there's a member of One Direction that is scared of spoons, won't use a spoon, and that's like a really stupid, irrational fear.
Is it that they're scared of spoons because they're scared of themselves because they are spoons because One Direction are shite?
Girl, you just got us cancelled.
I hope my sister's listening because she loves them. One way or another, we're gonna get copyright, right. I actually never really thought about irrational and rational fears.
I often think about it in that way because it kind of makes me feel a bit better about my fears, even though like I'm still deathly terrified of so many things.
So would most of your fears be fears that?
Most of my fears are irrational fears. They are very, very stupid.
Yeah. Okay. What would be, in general, just not like we'll not split them, but just like what are your fears in general?
Do you want me to list them off?
Yeah, list them off. Talk about them. Tell us what they are.
One of the things that I am terrified of, and this is so... People are going to read me so hard, but I am terrified of the dark. Like, I didn't start sleeping... I slept with a light on in my bedroom until I was 19.
Oh my god. I could not even, like... I used to be... Like, I can understand that one in the way that I used to be scared of the dark as a child, and I liked to have the, like, bedroom door open so the light was coming in. If the wee landing light was left on. But, like, the dark doesn't scare me that much anymore because it's more, if I'm out by myself and it's dark, walking through Belfast. If it's dark, by myself, walking the dog. If it's dark, by myself in the winter.
Yeah.
Like, I always have, like, a bit of a fear, like, what's in the dark? Even though there's nothing really there.
Like, I would always get into trouble. Obviously, this is, like, before I moved out. But I would, like, go down the stairs in the middle of the night to maybe, like, get a glass of water. And I wouldn't turn the lights back off when I was coming up the stairs because I was so scared. I would literally have every single light on the way down the stairs left on all night because I was just so scared to turn them off.
Yeah, I understand that. I always get that thing, do you know, like the memes that you get on Facebook and you turn the last light off and you sprint up the stairs and you see all them like TikToks of like the demon like chasing the people up the stairs and it's just someone in a bin bag.
On at home. But yeah, I don't understand. Like, now I can sleep with the light off and all now. Like, it's no issue. But I don't know. It's just always been something that I've been terrified of, like deathly afraid of.
Yeah.
What about you? What is one of your fears? And before we go any like further, anything that we mentioned that we are scared of, if anyone brings one to a show, sends us pictures of them, I will actually delete my Instagram and run away.
People are just going to send you pictures of the colour black. Even though that's like one of your favourite colours nearly.
Literally.
Yeah. One of my biggest fear, and do you know my whole thing is, do you know when people go on to I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here, and they say what they're most scared of?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Lie.
Why would you do that?
Tell a lie.
I'd be like,
I'm scared of flies.
Oh, I'd be like, oh, I'm so deathly afraid of hamsters.
And then they set a trap of rats on you.
I wouldn't mind rats.
Oh, I would know. I'm terrified of rats. That's one of mine.
I would love a wee pet rat. Pats?
Pats?
Rats are so smart. Did you know that you can teach them tricks and all?
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. I would love.
I am afraid of. Do you remember Caitlin I went to school with? I was in her house one day. It creeped me out. Like they were in a cage, like bouncing about, and I'd be like, ugh! But I'm the type of person. I'm driving to work in the mornings, and
you'll actively seek out rats and run them over.
Literally, no. I'm driving to like the coastal road out of the village I live in, and it's on the bends. Like you're driving mostly winter mornings. You don't see them more in the daytime. Like winter mornings, you've got your like low beam on because it's like half bright, half dark.
It's like
and you
misty.
see their eyes
run
across the road,
yeah.
And you see the rat. And I put my window up. Whenever I used to drive and smoke, I used to put my window up because I was scared the rat was going to climb up my car and get in the car, even though it's not.
Yeah,
like how is it going to do that? I'm going 60 miles per hour. But my biggest fear in life, and like the I'm a Celebrity thing, I don't want to tell people my biggest fears on this podcast because what if my fear comes true because of people listening to this?
Yeah.
Death. That is my biggest fear. My biggest fear. And I don't want to say this to people in case I get murdered. What if all these drag queens just want to murder me just because they know it's my fear?
Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from with a fear of death. But I mean, as someone who's mentally ill, I have very much come to terms with the idea of dying.
No, I am very scared of death in terms of how am I going to die? Will people seek out my last wishes? Am I old and I'm going to be a rich and famous drag queen and everybody takes my money? All my kids don't, like, they fight over it. Like, I'm scared. Is it going to be painful?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be dying, like, and be in pain and, like, be, like, dying for weeks.
Yeah.
I just want to drop. Now, from the top, make it drop. That's some
wet ass pussy. I get that where you're coming from. I feel like the idea of dying, what terrifies me about the idea of dying is, have you ever heard that Macklemore song where it's like, you die twice. The first time you die is the time you actually die, and the second time you die is the last person anyone mentions your name. So like,
oh my god, you could be famous and then like in 100 years, everybody's forgotten about you. So that's when you second die.
Yeah. So like, there's going to be a time where nobody ever remembers who you were. Nobody knows your name. You're just forgotten to time. And that kind of depresses me a little bit because it's almost like you want to make a difference in the world before you die. So that people do remember you. Which I guess is why drag is so important to me, is because I don't want to be a normal person and just have a 9-to-5 day job. I want to be known as someone who thought outside the box, someone who...
Like Martha P. Johnson, like...
Yeah.
Who's going to forget Martha?
Exactly.
Like, icons from, like Divine, like, all them icons that have died, like, way before we were born.
Yeah.
And nobody's forgetting about them. And they probably won't forget about them as easy because they were proper activists for the LGBTQ plus community, but that... I never thought about it like that. Yeah. Never ever thought about it like that. And now I'm very depressed.
Sorry.
And now I want to stop making this podcast.
Oh, no.
No, my thing with death, though, is like... I'm not necessarily... I'm at peace with the thought of eternal sleep. But...
Like, you don't want to die, but you wouldn't be mad if you went into, like, a coma.
I mean, think of the wrinkles you're saving. Your skin's not going to get... You're not smoking. You're not drinking alcohol.
Think how much money you'll save in a coma.
Think of the weight loss. Then after, whenever you get a big claim for whatever you went to do a coma for, you've got money to get Botox, get a fat ass.
A BBL?
I think every week we're just going to start talking about BBLs.
I know.
But my thing with death is, it's not the fact I'm gone. It's the fact I won't be able to do
What you wanted to
what.
do.
Not even that. Like, there's going to be a day where you don't perform again.
Yeah.
There's going to be a day you're not talking to all your, like, drag artist friends, like,
Yeah.
out in the smoking area. You're not going to be, like, performing for all these people. Like, the thing with death too is, people that you know dying. Like, I even think about, like, other drag queens that we know dying. Like,
That's a bit dodgy.
like your
love.
fans. Like, no, but it's like one of those things, you build connections with people and then they're just gone.
Yeah.
My other thing with death is, like, you get into a relationship and you marry someone and they die.
Yeah.
I want to die first. I know.
Yeah.
Like, I always picture myself, like, I'm happily in love and then they die and then what am I meant to do with myself?
Yeah. Because, like,
I have to go back to Pam and her 5 friends?
Like, see all these, like, wee old people that are, like, married and their husband or their wife dies. Like, statistically, they do not last a whole lot longer after their spouse dies, which is quite sad.
Oh,
I
no,
think.
I've always thought about, like, this is so grim. And I'm going to say this out loud, but you're married for 50 years and you're so fucking in love and you're still, like, having passionate raw dog sex and you just are so madly in love and you're 80 and you know they're about to die. I'm fully going with them. If I'm fully in love with someone and I'm like die hard for this person and they're die hard for me, I'm going with them.
So, like, if, say you're...
Like, do you know an American Horror Story hotel and the wee old couple come to the hotel just to kill themselves and die?
So, like, if you're...
This is so grim.
I know. So, like, if your, like, partner... Say you're, like, 80 years old, your partner dies. What are you going to do? You going to jump off a bridge or something?
I'm going to Sweden, mama. But no, like, realistically, that probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to do that. But, like, I just think, like, if you love someone so much, like, how are you meant to live without them? Like people, like, I see it in work all the time. Like, people that, like, patients come in and they're like, we, like, wife or husband has died, like, a month ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, I miss him so much. And I'm like, how long were you married? 60 odd years. How long? Like, and then they're like, but I went with her for, like, 10 years before that. And you're like, 70 years of your life
With this person.
went to this person. And I mean, realistically, gay community, we're not going to be in relationships for 70 years because we can't even last 3 months with people.
I mean, you can't last...
But, like, no, we're moving off death. What's another fear? Because
and
that was very fucking grim.
I know.
Straight in. Not even 15 minutes in.
I feel like the fear of death ties in with the fear of being alone. Because, do you know what I mean? You don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Right, let's get off the grim shite. Another fear I have. I am so I'm getting, like, really, like, thinking about it. I am so scared of, like, crabs and, like...
What, the crabs down your pants?
I don't have
Or
them.
if you made friends with them?
I don't have any of them anymore. I got the wee cream with a wee comb.
Well, if you keep yourself silky smooth, you don't need no comb. You just need the cream.
But, like, see, like, crabs and shrimp and, like, prawns and, like, lobster. They're just, like, aliens. Like, alien to me. Like, do you like the face huggers from, like, Alien?
Oh.
Literally.
I can relate to that in a regard to, I'm on the beach, I'm in the water, I could pick a crab up.
Oh, I couldn't.
That doesn't bother me. I'm very at peace with nature. I'm very, like, I love that.
She's a nudist.
I'm a nudist. I basically am. I love skinny dipping.
She's literally nude right now.
I am. Pulling the pads.
Ooh, she's pulling the patch.
I love crab. I don't love them. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, I want a pet crab. But
Pet crab.
but I do love, like, animals in general. But, like when you're standing in the water and you don't know what's below you, and, like, you don't know if you stand on a crab, you stand in a wee bit of, like, something like an animal, and you, like, disturb it, and it, like, gets you. Like, I've stood in a crab and it's nipped me, and it is horrifying because you're like, what was that? Was that a crab?
Yeah. And also, I am scared of spiders too, and that kind of like ties in with crabs as well because they're both like.
Incy wincy crabs.
Yeah. Oh my god, what was I like when I was on FaceTime with you that night?
It's the spider thing. Spiders are a very real fear. Like, I think that's one you're born with. I remember, like, literally a couple of weeks ago, and like, I literally see a dead bee lying there, but a literal dead bee. We're talking about little. I should throw that at you. I was in my granny's house, and I was just lying, like the way I'm sitting on this sofa, I was just, like, you're my granny, and I was looking at my granny like this, just like talking to her, and at the corner of my eye, I seen this thing on the sofa, and I turned my head, and it was a fucking spider like this size, and I jumped off the sofa. My granny goes over, it's fully alive, not killed, she gets the wee shovel off the fireplace and scoops it up and walks out the front. I used to be, like, not terrified. I remember in primary school, there was a spider in the classroom. It was massive, and I went up and picked it up and took it outside, and everybody was like, "Ee!" and I was like, But now I'm terrified, and my mum says that about me too. She's like, "You used to love insects, and now you're petrified of like spiders and all." Like, I would have picked them up, and my mum always says so. She brings this story up to everybody. She's like, "See, when he was younger, he would have collected them tadpoles and put them in a bucket down the side of my bin. They would have been there for weeks, and I would have moved the bin, and all these frogs would have come out."
Yeah.
I was that weird kid. I used to keep P4. We had to collect woodlouse and bring them into school to put them in a tank, and then we could look at them under microscopes.
Yeah.
I put them in my underwear drawer in a tub, pierced holes in the lid, forgot to close the lid. They were all over my underwear.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. And my mum went to put my underwear in the drawer, and there was all these bugs. I know.
That's rotten.
And now I've made friends with my bugs, my crabs. My other fear
Right.
is definitely boats.
Really?
Not being on a boat. See, when I'm out swimming
Okay.
and there's a boat in the harbour and I'm swimming past the boat, I get like...
What if you get run over?
No, the boat is tied to the harbour. It's moored and I swim near it. The tide like pushes me a wee bit near it. Or the boat, like, it's a windy day and the boat like rocks a wee bit towards me. I can't swim near them. I can't, like, even the thought of like...
That is...
It's the weirdest thing. I can't go
Yeah.
near them, but I could get on it. I could step onto the boat, but I can't like swim near them. Like I get goosebumps.
That is so...
Even think about it now. I'm like,
I can literally see your hair standing on end in your arms.
like it's just something about boats, and like if the boat's not got the engine on, what's the chances of me going under the boat?
Yeah.
It's not even going under the boat. It's the thought of like what's attached to the boat.
Oh, like
Barnacles. That's another fear. Trypophobia. Holes.
Yeah.
Like that wee like pattern where there's like loads of wee holes together and like
Yeah.
like
Like honeycomb.
yeah, but honeycomb doesn't give me it. But do you know then we like you get the plants, like the fake plants, and you have them in like a vase and they're like they're like wooden. They're like that wood thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a round one and it's got holes in it.
Yeah.
Like it makes me like
It does-
heave.
Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that's something that I'm scared
It's
of.
like raised pores.
And this is the last ever episode of Smokin Fegs Havin Gegs. Hope you've had a good one. I'm on. But yeah, that's not really something I would say that I'm scared of. It's more something that makes me uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
It's a fear.
Like, it makes me like
I'm like
cringe, like wince.
holes in general. Like body holes. Oh my god, love them.
Except arseholes.
I've no fears of arseholes, but like black holes. Imagine like sitting on Earth and we get sucked into a black hole.
But that's like the nerd coming out of me because I find that so interesting.
Oh no, I love that.
Like, I could sit on YouTube and watch like fucking...
Do you know what I love doing? Just as you speak about YouTube, watching all the disaster movie like clips.
Yeah.
Like watching the world end.
Yeah, I love that as well.
But that's another fear of mine. The world ending.
I mean, we've had a good run.
Do you remember? Do you know this year, the 21st of December this year marks 10 years ago we should have died?
Yeah.
Because I remember being at the school disco and we were all meant to die that day.
Yeah,
and
I
I remember
remember
going
that
home
day.
and was like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I fully imagined me being like in a teenage movie or like a disaster movie and I'm at the school disco and the world ends while I'm there and all these kids like, ah! Like,
I remember that because I was in first year at the time and I was like really stressed out that I wasn't going to get to go to secondary school But then I was like, oh, it's grand. I got to go for at least a month.
Yeah, though that was a fear of mine. I don't know why. Like I don't like if the world ends, what are you gonna do about it?
I know.
It's done, it's gone. But then the other side of it for me is, what if the world ends and I'm the last one?
I would love that.
What?
I would fully love that. Well, maybe not like on my own. Like I'd love to have like maybe like a few friends or like my family with me. But I would like steal cars and like go around and smash people's houses up and all. I think it'd be great.
I'd be fully going to people's houses I know and looking through their drawers.
Seeing what they have.
Seeing what they have.
In
How many dildos are in there, love? But I would literally like. Can you imagine? This is a fear. This is a fear.
I
The
mean,
world ends, and it's you left with a biological straight woman, and you're the only one left to
that is
repopulate.
fair. But after you saying that, the only thing I'm scared of right now is if I die and the world ends, is you going to find my dildos on my bedside table.
That is a fear of mine too.
What,
Like me dying and like my mum like going through my room,
Yeah, I like.
finding my jock straps,
Yeah,
finding my lube, finding my dildos.
when I moved out, or no, when I moved back in, I had to like hide everything in like a bag with clothes, and I haven't really unpacked or anything yet because I don't really want to be staying at home for too much longer. Like I hadn't planned. I was literally only planning on staying with my parents for a couple weeks at least, so I hadn't unpacked. But my mum had started going through all of my suitcases and all of my bags to do all my washing.
I would kill my mum.
And she hasn't got to the one with my things in it yet. I will not be specifying what my things are, but one of them is a liter bottle of lube, $12.99 on Amazon. But I'm just terrified of her finding it. Although I feel like she knows I have it because I've like spilt it a couple times. And, like, when we moved
Imagine
out,
Jen falling and breaking a hip, and she goes to hospital, and she's like, "What happened? I slipped in my son's lube."
I know, but when we moved out, we got £100 taken off our deposit that we got back, and it was because they needed to clean the house. And I know for a fact it was because my lube stained our carpet floor in our bedroom. And like, they never asked us what it was, but I know that there was a stain on the carpet floor left, and it was because my lube. Like I think like the cap came off it or something.
That's another fear of mine. Speaking of falling and breaking a hip, falling or me getting like a fracture injury and ending up in my own ward and needing personal care carried out by my members of staff.
Oh, like I had like a nightmare the other day where I got like hit by a car, right? And I was like paralyzed from like the neck down, and my mum had to like wipe my bum and like do all that kind of stuff and like wash me every day. I just in the dream like she was like I like shite the bed or something, I don't know. And like my mum came in and was cleaning me up, and I was just bawling my eyes out. Like I just did not want to live like that.
Yeah, that's a fear of mine, like being in a position where you can't care for yourself.
Yeah,
That's scary.
it really is.
What's another fear?
Seaweed.
Oh,
It's like especially that one where you stand on it and it pops.
like Wee Mermaid's purse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. And people like my like close circle of friends, like outside of drag, are aware of the fact that I really don't like seaweed. And I was in work one day. This is before I got my wee government job. They came in with a bag of seaweed and threw it at me
I would kill them.
on the shop. Like I worked in a shop. It was on the shop floor. Threw it at me, and I'm not joking. I had a panic attack in front of so many customers, to the point where I had to go and I had to sit. I locked myself in the bathroom and I had to calm myself down before I did anything else, because I was so like shaken up. Oh, I've never forgiven them for doing that. Like, thinking about it is like stressing me out because.
So you'd never eat seaweed?
No,
Like Dulles?
no,
Oh, it's so good.
it's really not.
It's
though.
lovely.
It's like eating bags of salt.
I love the texture when you crunch it in your teeth.
I feel like I have another fear. What is another fear I have? There was one that I wanted to talk about. I don't know. It'll come to me.
Are you a fight or flight person?
I am very much the kind of person someone confronts me, I get shy, I can't say anything, I freeze up. But then I come back and I get a shower, and I'm like, I should have said this. I should have said this and put them in their place.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would it have been if I had said that?
Yeah.
But I guess I'm definitely a flight kind of person. What about like?
You're like a middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to fight back, but you're not going to run away. You're kind of like,
I mean, it kind of depends, because like now people would be like shitty to me and try to like read me, and I'd read them back.
yeah.
But like before, I would have like went and cried.
Yeah, I get that. I think I'm similar to you on that one. Do you have any fears in relation to drag?
Yeah, I kind of am scared of people not liking me.
Yeah.
Like, I have a very, like, I crave validation, and I crave approval from people.
Yeah.
So like, I really want to be liked. Like, that's why I try so hard to like avoid conflict and confrontation within the drag community. Like, I don't want to start any drama or anything, or be involved in any drama.
Yeah.
But well, what about yourself? What would you say a fear for drag would be?
Just in general, like, not approve. I think we all crave a bit of approval, but I think more for me it is I have a fear of being like attacked.
Yeah.
I have a fear of being on stage and someone that coming in just to start something while I'm on stage, or while I'm in the bar in drag, or while I'm outside like in drag. I have a fear of someone like approaching me and like stabbing me or like hitting me, or
It's like, even when we're like before the show starts and we're out having a cigarette outside Maverick, and the kids on the bikes that always cycle past and shout faggot at us.
yeah.
Like, I know they're kids and they don't know any better, but like that like triggers me a wee bit, because it like takes me back to like,
Whenever you were growing up and
Yeah.
you had people saying that all the time. That's my biggest fear, is being gay bashed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as gay men, I feel like that is a logical fear, which is such a sad thing to say.
Yeah.
Have you ever been able to overcome any fears?
Have I ever overcome any fears? I got over the fear of being your friend.
Oh, and that was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I got over the fear of eating pizza again after the pizza story.
Can we not bring that? I'm gonna see if Just Eat's one. I'm fucking starving.
One of the fears I got over was crashing my car and getting back in the seat.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I was a bit scared, but I done it the same week after. But that was I was like, what if I crash again? But even now, when I drive past the place I did crash, I had it in my head for ages. I was like, I can't drive down that road.
Yeah.
I can't drive down that road, and now I can.
Mm-hmm.
Even faster. Oh!
I don't know. See, I don't drive anymore. I haven't driven in like a year and a half now. But every time I got into my car, and I wrote my car off twice, I have destroyed a car to the point that it cannot be fixed.
Same.
Twice. And every time before that, I got into my car and I said to myself, what if today is the day I crash? And that really like put me off driving, I think.
And then that fear, that ties into me dying again.
Yeah.
But we're not going back to talking about dying.
Nah.
What else are we going to discuss?
I mean, a fear that I feel like I have overcome is like stage fright.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
very big one.
I used to be so nervous. I remember the first time I performed, I felt bottom of my pit of my stomach, sick, sweating, like thinking, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I just go and do it.
Like, I can remember the first time I ever went out in drag, it was Malibu Perry had asked me to come out with her and Tiffany, and Scarlett McGlare was on the door in Bimbox, like she was like hosting the night, and they were just kind of like asking me like, oh, like, what song do you want to perform, like what do you want to perform? And I was kind of like, I don't know if I ever do, if I ever want to perform, because I just don't think it's something that I would ever feel comfortable doing. But like now, I love performing.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. Like, even now, like, See if you had asked me, even speaking on the mic, like, see, the few times I have been able to speak on the mic and interact with the audience on a microphone, I have loved every second of it. I think it is so much fun. But
Yeah.
see if you had asked me 5 years ago, I would have been shaking it in my wee Becca boots. Like, I would have been so terrified.
I am very much, because I've never spoken the mic in drag. I am a bit nervous for certain challenges in the upcoming competition that we are in,
Yeah.
and speaking on the mic, because there's 2 challenges we have to do.
Yeah. Even when I did revision with Carl Cornelingus, he asked us, like, just some general questions before we performed. And, like, I thought that was so fun. Like, this is going to sound so self-centered, but I love talking about myself. Like an audience, I just love talking about myself.
I mean, this is kind of like a big thing for me too. Like, I have a big fear of what people think of me and what people are going to think about what I do. Because
Yeah.
when I date people too, I think to myself, they're going to think it's weird I make a podcast. They're going to think it's weird I do drag. They're going to think it's weird that I no finger myself every night. Like, I'm just making up things now.
Let me see them fingernails, girl.
Cleaner than yours. But like, I have a fear of like those sort of things, like silly fears. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just scared of like, how are they going to perceive me? Will they not want to date me because of that? And then I sit back to myself and I'm like, well, if they don't like that, then obviously they're not the one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to date them. Speaking of, there's Kiki DeCanter messaging. Group chat things.
No. There was another fear that I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. I mean, I feel like a very rational fear is the fear of losing your loved ones.
Yeah, family dying is a big one.
Yeah.
Imagine one of us dying.
Should we do it? Like, should one of us just, like, kill themselves so that we can get clout and, like, it'll go viral?
No, you die. I'm not dying.
I mean,
I like life.
I don't right now.
I like life. I'm weird though. Like, I can be very emotional and be very depressed and I wouldn't say, right, we're not going to say depressed, we're going to say emotional. I can be a bit of a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But I don't want to die. Is there any other fears you want to talk about? Is there any other have you any fears for the world?
For the world.
Like some of my fears for the world are like World War III.
Yes, I do have fears for the world. That is a very logical fear, but with the recent like political climate in America, with the Roe versus Wade bill being overturned, I am quite scared for what that means for women in America.
Yeah. I think also women in general across the world, because if that's the example that America is now setting,
Yeah.
like, what example does that set for the rest of the world? It scares me a wee bit in the sense that same-sex marriage could now be next.
Yeah.
It scares me that other countries might be like, well, like, if certain other people get power and they're able to backtrack on certain
Yeah.
laws, like, it scares me in that regard. Like, are we going to backtrack?
Yeah.
Which we very much are, and hate crimes against LGBT people across like the world are on the rise.
And especially in terms of abortion, like, they would rather have the mother, say, so a woman had an ectopic pregnancy, which is where when the embryo attaches in the fallopian tubes, and more or less it results in a painful death for the mother. They would rather have the mother die,
Or get an illegal abortion
yeah,
than have a safe legal
yeah. It just doesn't
way
make
out.
sense in my head. Like, the fact that fucking it just makes me so angry.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. That is a big fear of for the world. Like, backtracking, like, women have fought so hard for hundreds of years, probably since the beginning of the time, to be honest, because men have been so abrupt and authoritative with their beings. Like, is this us backtracking? Personally, I have hope that something's going to come out of this in America. And the thing that annoys me a wee bit more is British people in general, like, threw a lot of support at Northern Ireland for abortion. We need them to do the same for America.
Yeah.
We need them to, like, literally, like, we need everybody to protest. We need, like, this can't just be forgotten about and, like, in the hopes that it's just going to get better. People need to fight. People need to really make this better and make it that it cannot be overturned, because how can something be there for 50 years
Yeah.
and suddenly just this one motion just, like, wipes it out?
I fully, like, my brain cannot comprehend how someone can control what someone else does to their body.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me.
Especially when it's old white men that think they have a say in what
Yeah.
people can and can't do.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why you can't do this because I'm a Christian. It's like me turning around to you and being like, you can't have a KFC because I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes
that's very true.
it makes zero sense.
Yeah. So we'll wrap that wee bit up.
I know.
But I think we should play a little game.
Before we do, I want to end this wee session by apologising for it being so fucking depressing. When we decided on doing the topic fear, I thought it'd be funny.
No, there was good moments in this.
Would have a gag, talk about our stupid fears. 95% of what we talked about is death.
I think we should play
Oh god.
2 Truths, 1 Lie Fear Edition.
Okay, you go first though, because I don't really know.
So I'm going to list 3 fears, and you have to guess which one of them is not the real fear.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go with wooden flooring.
Is this fears that you have, or just like fears?
No fear for me, like my fears.
Okay.
Like my personal fears. Wooden flooring in a bedroom,
Right.
right? People's dirty sponges in a shower,
Right.
and semen. So we have...
Okay, I know exactly which one isn't true.
What one is it?
I'm gonna like explain
So-
it. I'm gonna explain my reasoning for what I think. Okay, the sponges one. I know that a genuine fear that you would have.
Yeah.
Because you're a very hygiene oriented person. You talked about it before, how you care quite a lot about your personal hygiene and other people's personal hygiene. So I think that is one.
That's a truth.
Yeah. And semen, girl, you are a fucking professional cum guzzler. You are not scared of jizz. So
Yeah, no, wooden flooring, like, that was the first thing that came into my head, and I don't know why.
yeah,
Right, your go.
I've talked about all my fears.
I know, just make shit up.
Right. Flying, like in a plane. Flying. Death of family members. Or
Can you hear the clock ticking too?
oh god, I don't know. Flying, losing loved ones, or heights.
I don't think you're scared of flying. To a degree that you do go away. Like, you go to England.
Yeah.
But your face is making me say different now. So, you're scared of flying then?
I'm scared of all three.
I was going to say, it's like, you mentioned earlier you're scared of people losing people you love.
Yeah. But
And
like, I'm not
you're scared of heights.
I'm not scared of flying. But I cannot be on a plane if I can't take off on a plane if I'm not holding the person's hand that's sitting next to me.
Oh no, I'm never getting a flight with you.
Like, I have to hold
I could not hold your hand on the flight.
I have to. you're going to say if we ever go away
No.
anywhere, you have
No.
literally on takeoff. That's the only time I ever want you to hold my hand.
No.
Like
I'm just going to bring a dildo.
I'm literally going to England like in like a week and a half time by myself, and I'm fully going to have to ask the person next to me to hold my hand while we take off. Because
No, that's too far.
No, because I can't do it without it.
That is too far.
I get proper sketch.
That's horrendous. A stranger?
Yeah,
You can't ask a stranger to hold your hand.
but it's like
COVID?
shut up.
I hope you're sitting in a row by yourself. You'll be leaning over the front of the person in front of you like, can you hold my hand?
It's like a comfort thing, though.
Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to cut my hand off and send it with you.
Yeah, please.
What the fuck?
Or like fill a glove up with water and freeze it. Right, I think we should end things here
Yeah, no, absolutely.
before I embarrass myself any further.
Well, thanks for tuning in this week, and if you did not end up with depression after this episode,
We'll see you in the bar for a drink.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
But it was worth it.
It was.
It was fun.
Bye!
Bye!